A good Erev Shabbos, everybody. It is my fervent hope that we're going to be together very shortly. I miss everybody. I would like to just send out a short Dvar Torah to usher in the Shabbos. This week's Parsha is Parshas Acharei Mos. It talks about the Sorah Mishtaleach, which is the scapegoat. It's a very unique and a very complicated concept. It's so complicated that the Gemara tells us that on a list of chukim, which are laws that don't have Havana and Hezbollah furnished with them, unlike mishpatim, the Gemara tells us a mishpat is something that even if it wasn't written, it's something that humans and societies would have kept. For example, Gilui Arayis, Shvichas Damim, all those things would have been kept regardless if they were written or not. But chukim, they're concepts that if they're not written, we would have never kept them. And on a list of chukim is the concept of not eating chazer, not wearing shatnez, taharas mitzera, the laws of mitzera that we learned in last week's parsha, and also the concept of a sorah mishtaleach, which is a scapegoat. The fact that you could send a goat down a hill with jagged rocks and tear it up into shreds, and that affords Klal Yisrael a kapara, is something very uncommon and something not so readily understandable. And the Gemara says that's sufficient. That's the way we understand it. It's something God commanded us to do, and it doesn't have any logic furnished along with it, and that's how it should be. Yet, over the course of time, some Goinim and some Rishonim, including the Zohar and the Pirkei Rabbi, did give us reasons, did give us deep insight and explanation. The Zohar said that it's a form of sheichad. It's sort of like a bribe that we give to the other side, to those that talk negatively against us, namely the Satan. And it's a sheichad that we want them to be our friends and blunt their ability to see bad in us. It would be similar to tzedakah. A person could have averis, and a person could have a record of ill, and yet, if he does charity and he helps other people, that could make him look much better in front of God, and that can make his judgment come out in a much lighter fashion. That's the concept of the pasuk, tzedakah tatzel mimaves. So according to the Pirkei Rabbi and according to the Zohar, this too is the concept of the Sarah La'azazel, the scapegoat. We're sort of making friends with the Satan. It's a difficult concept for me to understand. I'm just relating it. Even Ezra says that, he says, Im yocholta lahavin hasoid shuachar milas hazazel teda soide v'soid shmoi. If you would be able to understand the secret or the deep, what we would say mystery in the word Azazel, then you'd understand the concept of Sorah La'azazel. And then he says, but agala miktas, I'll only tell you some of it. I can't tell you the whole. He says, B'yoischa ben shloishim v'sholish teda enu. When you'll be 33, sounds like he's saying when you'll be 33 years old, you'll know it. Well, most people that are 33 do not know what the Even Ezra is referring to. If you look in the Ramban on that pasuk, he says, Ani hoylech rachel megala soid, I could tell you and divulge the secret of the Even Ezra. And what he means when you'll be 33 is it means count 33 psukim from the pasuk of the Sorah La'azazel, and then you'll find the pasuk that says, La yizbechu oides ifcheim la'seirim asher heim zaynim achareim. And the Even Ezra feels that the Sorah La'azazel might have been a throwback to pagan times when people used to sacrifice rams and goats to deities that we know were false, and Hashem is saying, do this on Yom Kippur, on the holiest day, and you won't be compelled to do something terrible and live your life according to paganism. This is also a very hard concept. This is a very difficult thing for me to digest, because on some level, on the holiest of days, what we're doing is we're making some sort of an ode to a pagan culture, a pagan history. Now, and the Gemara does tell us very clearly that it's a choik, which I always derived an element of comfort from the understanding that the Rambam has in the Moreh Nevuchim for the Sorah Mishtaleach. The Rambam felt that there are certain sins where if people did them, they should be distanced from them as far as possible. They shouldn't repeat them. Sort of like Ravina's memory in the Gemara and Brachas, Chotzef alai man de mefaret chatoy. I despise someone who relives his sin. There's something to committing a sin and then vicarious reliving of the sin. And that, the Rambam says, is the message of the Sarah Mishtaleach, where a person is told there are certain sins, once you've done them, just separate from them with such totality that they're pushed away El Eretz Gezerah, to a land which is completely not built, in the form of a shchita, which is completely not celebrated. There's nothing that comes out of that for anybody. There is such a concept that the Rambam is sharing with us, that the benevolent Rabbi Shalom, the Rabbi Shalom who's full of rachamim, and always wants just to see the good in us, and always wants just to have the good relationship with us, gives us the allowance and the ability to push our sins very far away, to push our sins in a way that we don't relive them, we don't reconnect with them, we don't have to have validation and understanding for how we got to them. We just have to push them away, and then we're clean. Then Lifnei Hashem Titharu. So, whatever approach we take from the Sarah Mishtaleach, the messages are all very positive. Either there is the ability that the Borei Kol HaOlamim says, I could show you how to be Meshached and how to somehow weather your storm and make it a very nice situation for yourself through the Sarah La'azazel, or like the Even Ezra is, there's an ode to some history or some, what we would say, bad things that we've done, and we service that. I don't propose to understand that approach. Or the Rambam's approach, which is Averos that are big can be just detached from us in a way that we don't have to recognize them and have anything to do with them ever again. I would like to conclude by wishing everybody a good Shabbos, and hopefully we'll see each other very soon. Thank you very much.